Hi, welcome to the Breaking Limitation Show. My name is Joyce Marendes and I am your host here on today. As you all know, our mission is always to empower, to equip, and to promote individuals who've been able to overcome great obstacles in their lives and have now discovered their own superpower. Today, we're excited to have one of our special guests all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. His name is Robert Burale, and most of you in Kenya know him as Coach RB. And Robert is also known, he's a minister, he's a life coach, an actor, an author, and an entrepreneur. And he's also the founder of Naked Truth. So we are so excited to have him here in the show on today. But before we have him come on, we're going to take a short break and then we'll be right back.
What limitation are you holding on to? The Breaking Limitations Mindset Journal has 63 daily quotes and scriptures that will help you break every limitation in your life. Get your copy today. Represent your commitment to breaking limitations by visiting breakinglimitationsnow.com to purchase your Breaking Limitations t-shirt, tank top, or hoodie today.
Hi, welcome to the Breaking Limitation Show. My name is Joyce Marendes and I am your host here on today. We have a special guest with us on today. His name is Robert Burale, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. Robert, welcome to the Breaking Limitation Show. It's so good to have you. How are you today?
I'm very, very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor, actually. I feel very privileged and honored that you asked me to come on this very great platform. And thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, because I know it's evening for you, it's daytime for us, so it's a sacrifice, but I'm so glad you're able to join us on today. So for those who don't know Robert, he is located in Nairobi, Kenya. He is a coach. He does several things. So I'll give him an opportunity to just go ahead and properly introduce himself. So go ahead, Robert.
Wow, I do many things. I'm a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm an author. I am the lead trainer at the Robert Burale School of Leadership. I'm the founder of the Naked Truth movement. I'm a TV host. I'm a radio host. I'm an actor. I'm a father to the most beautiful girl in East and Central Africa, south of the Sahara and north of Limpopo. I am just a man who wants to be better tomorrow than I am today. Really, the best way I can describe myself is just a man who has experienced the amazing grace of God. I mean, nothing more than that.
Awesome. That is so powerful. Yeah, you do a lot of things, and it's just amazing to see some of those things that you do. You really impact a lot of lives, and you have also impacted my life. So today I want us to go ahead and talk about your book, Mask Off. For those people who don't know, Robert has a powerful book called Mask Off, and it is just amazing. When you read that book, it's so powerful. I read it in one day. I'm a slow reader, so it was really, really good that I had to finish it that day. I couldn't go to sleep without finishing it. So if you could just tell our viewers a little bit about the book and what led you to writing the book.
Thank you. First and foremost, thank you that you found the book a blessing. I don't take it for granted. Now, Mask Off is from the strip club to the pulpit. My journey of mistakes, my journey of addictions, my journey of mistakes, my journey of failures, joys and sorrows, near-death experiences. Literally, the book is me undressing myself for people to see my scars. Why I wrote the book is because no pain, no high, no mountain, no valley season should ever be wasted, because our lives should be a mental picture for somebody else for upward mobility. Every tears that I cried at night is for somebody else to have joy in the morning. Every failure and every mistake that I made is so that somebody else learns from my mistake and avoids that route that led me to that mistake. Every joy and every success is to encourage somebody to see and say, if he went through that and somehow got to the other side, then they'll also believe they will hold on one more day because help is on the way. I'm a believer in not looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. We should be the light that will light up the tunnel. And that's the encouragement I want people to have. And vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. I run away from people who always say they're perfect. All we hear is their perfect stories. No, I mean, that's a fake person. So I want people to learn from my mistakes, from my pains, but also I want them to be encouraged by some of the victories, because the truth of the matter, I have also had great victories and successes.
Wow, that is so true, especially when you talk about vulnerability, because that's something that we are not taught to be vulnerable. We are taught to be strong, especially for men. Men are taught to be strong. Men are taught not to share what they've gone through or not to say what's going on with them. But you just opening up has helped a lot of men out there to also have hope, to know that it's okay to share what you're going through. It's okay to talk to somebody and just let them know that you're struggling and all that. So that's really, really awesome. And so one of the things I wanted to also ask is, because I know you shared a lot about like your childhood and just some of the things that caused you to get to where you are right now. Has that, with the effects of your childhood, has that changed how you're parenting? Or has that helped with your parenting?
Absolutely, because every experience is a learning curve as well. Everything we've been through. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my childhood, maybe some of the things that I appreciated about my parents, I now do it a lot for my daughter. And maybe some of the silent desires that I had and may not have really received them, I make sure I bridge that gap and give that to my daughter. So, sometimes we may take our parents for granted until we become parents.
Yeah.
So, yes, I have learned a lot. Even some of the things that I went through when I remember a house help sexually molested me. That is why I am very passionate about protecting of young people. That is why I tell parents, be very intentional, talk to your children. They may be dying in silence, because when I remember the house help, she took advantage of a young person, but she also saw a gap that she took advantage of. You understand what I'm saying? So I have used my past experiences to give me lessons and nuggets and direction for who I am today as a man and as a father and as a leader in some of the aspects that I am in.
That is so true. When you talk about like the house help was able to see a gap in the family, how would you help parents if they're trying to? How would you help parents to be able to communicate better with their children? Because I think that's something that's something we are struggling with, especially in our culture, African culture. Parents are really struggling in where to know how to communicate with the children.
The problem with parents right now is they think giving their kids gifts and gadgets to be busy online is spending time with the kids. The children need the presence more than the presents. So gifts are good, but the children deeply desire the presence of the parents. And we need to make sure that we talk, and let's be open, talk about, hey, mommy, daddy, if you see somebody touching you like this, please make sure you come and tell. Do not allow this to happen. You understand what I'm saying? But parents have become too busy for their children. And sometimes as parents, we are too busy investing for our children and not investing in our children.
Wow, yeah, that is so true, because I know a lot of times people are struggling with that, wanting to give their kids everything that they didn't have when they were growing up, but that's also taking away the time where parents don't have time for the kids, or they don't really
Yeah.
get to know what's going on with their kid because they don't get to visit them or to spend time with them. So that's really good that you're able to not only use your experience, but you're also sharing that, because I know you share that a lot on even on your Facebook lives and everything, empowering parents. So that's great. And so how did your family feel about you writing the book? Because I think, did they feel exposed?
Well, Joyce, the most amazing thing is that I got a lot of support from my parents. My mom prayed for my books when I got the past batch of the books from the publisher, the printer. Uh, Funny thing that people don't know is before I released the book, my daughter proofread the book. So she read the
Oh,
book before, yes, she read the book before anybody, you
that's
know,
awesome.
and
Uh-huh.
she loves the book. She totally loved the book. And God just almost prepared, I think God prepared them for it because I got a lot of support. And there's nobody in my family who even came and told me, and man, I wish you didn't say this. I wish
Mm.
you didn't say that. I got 150 support from all of them. So I thank God for that, actually,
Yeah,
including my
that.
own daughter.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome, because sometimes, kids or even just family members would be offended, because I know some people who are trying to write books about what they went through, but the family is fighting them about just sharing with the world. So that's really, really a gift to be able to have that. So, yeah, so that's really, really good. And your daughter, what does she think about the book, or what did she think about the book? Like all your experiences once she got to know everything.
No, my daughter just says, you know what, Dad, I'm just glad you are who you are. You know,
Mm,
I'm
mm,
glad the book has helped and will help many, many people. She's absolutely, in fact, the book is dedicated to my daughter. And in my dedication, I've said something in line of, you will remember me as a man who fell, but got up, owned my mistakes, and tried to get better. So
mm,
it's also teaching her that the greatest address of success
mhm,
has been bedeviled with the roads and the lanes of failure.
mm,
But you don't stay down, you get up and still set your eye on the prize, and that is the destination called success. So that book will teach her, has taught her, and will teach many other people that failure is not finality.
mhm.
Failure, if you react well to failure, it is just one staircase to the ladder of success.
Wow. Yes, that is so true. So we're gonna go ahead and take a short break, and then we'll be right back.
Represent your commitment to breaking limitations by visiting breakinglimitationsnow.com to purchase your Breaking Limitations t-shirt, tank top, or hoodie today. What limitation are you holding on to? The Breaking Limitations Mindset Journal has 63 daily quotes and scriptures that will help you break every limitation in your life. Get your copy today.
Hi, welcome to the Breaking Limitation Show. I'm here in the studio with Robert Burale, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. So, Robert, we were just discussing your book, Mask Off, and just some of the experiences that you went through with that when writing that book. And so I know a lot of people here haven't read the book. And could you just tell them a little bit about that book, like what exactly it's about? Because I know we've talked about it, but some people have no idea what we are referring to about the book.
Right. The Mask Off, which is my first book, is talking about my life, um, the experiences I went through when I was a young person. When I remember a house help, she sexually abused me. I went through mistakes, studying abroad, going through addictions, the strip club, going into debt, making many mistakes, and went on a journey of self-destruction, but also betrayal, rejection, being gossiped. But at the end of it is the light of the amazing grace of God that captured me and said, this one, we shall not let you go. And when I was writing the book, as I was asking my mom a few questions, how she met my dad, this and that, she told me that when I was 6 years old and she was with me, a man of God says, that son of yours is a preacher of the gospel. So I can imagine that was said to my mom when I was 6 years old. But then all the things I went through, I believe my mom was asking, but God, you told me my son is a preacher. And I've seen the amazing grace of God. I've seen the way the hand of God never leaves you. And that is why I'm very passionate about preaching the gospel. I'm very passionate about helping people and mentoring people. And I don't come out as a perfect person. I'm just an imperfect man loved by a perfect God, using me perfectly based on how he has called me. And the book also, of course, talks about redemption. And it will teach people on friendships and how sometimes friendships can be fickle. And how do you know your real friends? Because you cannot pick your friends based on who dines with you every day. You know, when you're having a party, you may have 100 people. When you're having a funeral, you may have 10 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That is it's so powerful when we get prophecy and hold on to that prophecy, because sometimes when we get a prophecy, sometimes your life just doesn't reflect that prophecy.
Yes.
And that can be very, very discouraging, and sometimes people lose hope and people give up. But I just want people to know that when God has said something about your life, and even you don't even have to get a prophecy, just looking at God's word those are nuggets and gifts for you. So whatever God has said about you, hold on to that, even if your life doesn't reflect it, because a time will come when you will be able to see the manifestation of that prophecy. So that is really, really great. So I know that with the book, it led you to, is the book what led you to the Naked Truth movement, or how was that birthed?
The Naked Truth movement was birthed in many years ago, before the book. What happened is, because when my marriage failed, I got a lot of rejection from the church. Not my church. My bishop has always stood with me, but the church in general, the body of believers. Yeah. Because now many frowned upon me. Divorced man, how can you preach? Divorced man, you have leprosy. And one time I was asking God, is this how we're supposed to treat people who are fallen in the eyes of men? And he says, don't worry, my son, I will give you a platform. And that platform is called, and he gave it the name Naked Truth. This platform, please do not reject anybody from coming. If a prostitute comes for my meeting, I will let them in. If a gangster comes for my meeting, I will let them in. Because that is their now what we call their Damascus moment, because many people have gone back to the arms of the devil because they have been rejected by the very people who are supposed to be representing God in the physical realm. So that's how the Naked Truth was born. And we thank God, we have grown leaps and bounds, since 2014, January 25th. Up to now, we are still growing. By the grace of God, we have done Naked Truth in various countries. We have gone to the US. We have come to the US, actually. We have done Botswana. We have done many, many other countries, actually. And of course, in many towns within the country as well. I've come to Alabama. I've gone to Texas. I've done Atlanta. I've gone to Jacksonville, Florida. It's just an amazing journey, to be honest with you.
Wow, that is so powerful, because I got to watch one of the sessions with the men, and it was such a powerful session, just watching men worshiping God and just crying and just kneeling down and just letting go, because sometimes men are always macho, they don't want to show their emotions. And so you gave them a platform where they can actually come and just feel free to worship God, but also you address issues that most preachers will not address.
That is one of our foundations. We face head on those things that society likes to whisper about. But there's no point of whispering about things that are killing our people. So we
Exactly.
have the very uncomfortable conversations. We do cut very deep, because to get the problem, you've got to go very deep.
Correct. Yeah, I think a lot of times we find that in the church they sugarcoat a lot of things, or they don't talk about the magnitude of the things that people are going through. So people almost feel as though Christianity does not work, or we are just superficial. But when you start attacking those issues, real life issues, and talking about them, that's really, really, it touches a lot of people, because people are going through things and they don't even talk about it, or they feel that they'll be rejected and all that. And so that's really good to see you addressing that. Yeah, and I know you also talked about an issue that really on suicide. Um, you had tried to commit suicide a couple of times. And so I know that in this day and time, people are having so many mental issues going on. People are dying silently and all that. And how could you just talk a little bit about that? And then how would you help someone who is going through their own mental challenges right now?
Thank you, Jess. I've had 3 suicide attempts. And that's what happens is the enemy isolates you and then amplifies all your problems and makes you feel that nobody else is going through what you're going through, that whatever you're going through is unique to you, and that you're useless. And then the moment you are removed from voices of wisdom and counsel, then you have your own self to advise yourself. And imagine you already tell yourself you're useless. So that's, you only give yourself advice based on the foundation of you're useless, you're not good enough, you'll never amount to anything. You understand?
Yeah.
And then that's when the voice gets louder and louder and louder. And I want to tell somebody who maybe is having those thoughts right now, it will get better. I know things are tough right now, and it would be crazy for me who has been through that to tell you, oh, be strong. One of the things that can annoy somebody who is going through hell and high water is telling them, be strong, you're not the only one. No.
Yeah,
But as far as they're concerned, it is what they're going through. But I will tell you this, that the pain will go away slowly. I just want you to hold on and do not isolate yourself from the voice of reason. There are people who have been positioned around you just to give you a word of encouragement. Somebody will just say one thing and that will be the solution out of the problem that you are in. Don't allow anybody to tell you, yes, you're useless. Just start feeling good about yourself and stand in front of a mirror and have a conversation with the man in the mirror and start telling that man, that woman, the good things that the Lord has said about you in scripture. And then when you speak forth the good things, it now starts resting and calculating in your system. And then you start saying, yes, I have what it takes. I'm not going to kill myself. I know that tomorrow I'll get better. I look at myself now, Joyce, and I say, what if I succeeded?
Yeah.
There are some things I would not be doing that I'm doing now. I'm preaching the gospel. I've acted in movies. I've started a leadership school. I have a TV show. I have a radio show. I have a mentorship program. I mean, I want to die empty, like Miles Monroe said. By the time life flashes right in front of my eyes, I will smile because I'll have done my best. You and I today, and the guys behind the scenes with the camera and all this, they will tell you, so I want to tell you something, and I said this everywhere, is that we are today a day closer to our death. Every day, we are moving closer to our death. There's somebody watching us now who is 35 breaths away from his last or her last. And as I finished that statement, it has now gone down to 25. The question is, yes, the question is,
reality. Wow.
yes, there's somebody who is making plans for tomorrow. They have already ironed their dress and their shirts and they have a date tomorrow. But little do they know, they will not see tomorrow. There's somebody who has planned for next week. Little do they know, they don't have next week. And that is why, make it count. Today, do the best you know how. Change your life. Because one day, right now, you asked me, what is your name? I introduced myself.
Yes.
There will be a time when we breathe our last. It will be somebody else identifying our bodies. It will be somebody else deciding what clothes they will put us on. It will be somebody else deciding where we'll be buried. And in some cases, it is the court, people who never met you, who will be deciding where you'll be buried. While you're still alive, please make it count. If God gives you the privilege of being a guest of honor at your own funeral, will you like what people say? And I've said this every time and time again. Nobody knows the kind of suit Martin Luther King loved. Nobody knows the kind of car Nelson Mandela loved. Nobody knows the kind of food Barack Obama loves. But if you say that I have been to the mountain top and I have seen the promised land, you will know who you're talking about. If you say, yes, we can, you will know who you're talking about. If you said the long walk to freedom, you will know who you're talking about. What will we be remembered for? Make it count.
Wow. That is so powerful. So powerful. So guys, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Represent your commitment to breaking limitations by visiting breakinglimitationsnow.com to purchase your Breaking Limitations t-shirt, tank top, or hoodie today. What limitation are you holding on to? The Breaking Limitations Mindset Journal has 63 daily quotes and scriptures that will help you break every limitation in your life. Get your copy today.
Wow, that was such a powerful session with Robert Burale, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. So just make sure to follow him on all the social media platforms, and also make sure you tune in next week as we continue with this conversation in part 2 of the session. So we'll see you there.